fantastische ondersteuning van het elftal. Fantastische ondersteuning van het elftal.
Shows the manager has done a wonderful job. I think the player turnover is very, very important, just to add something different.
Southampton in possession again over on the right-hand side. One final thought about that. It's all well and good saying, well, so many of the sides that go down do come straight back up. Southampton went down spectacularly. You look back to that Derby side, the Derby side that only picked up 11 points. They finished 18th in their Championship campaign the season after their record low. Southampton will certainly be expected to do much, much better than that. And here's Ronnie Edwards. Southampton playing out from the back. Kwasi just had a a nasty moment, but got away with it and was able to find his goalkeeper, and Bazunu's got easier possession now as they build inside their own half. 0-0.
Yeah, there's going down and then there's going down, and they were down well before Christmas. And you know, when you have week after week and month after month of, you know, just you can't have enjoyed their football last season. And I think hopefully they, for their point of view, they will start winning games, but you know, there can be that scoring for sure.
Adam Armstrong will try and get on the end of a slightly misdirected back pass. Danny Ward got that away for Wrexham and puts it out for a throw that will be taken over on the far side by Southampton. Wrexham fans have been in the city since at least 9 o'clock this morning. Plenty of red and yellow shirts around. They're in their change kit of yellow today, and it was great. Something I should have mentioned at the time. They had a banner as the teams came out remembering the great Joey Jones, who we've lost since the end of last season, and Joey remembered by the Wrexham supporters before this game started. Ball is with Jay Robinson on the Southampton left, but it knocked away. Flynn Downs. Jack Stevens is going to have to scamper after this, but has been able to get there. Lewis O'Brien is quick and tried to close Stevens down. He's certainly got the beating of him for pace. Stevens had enough of a start, and Edwards has now got it for Southampton. 10 yards inside his own half. 4 from him to Ryan Fraser, chipped over the top down the right hand side. Sugawara has made a good run and is going to be able to get there ahead of Kakache. Lays it back for Charles Robinson with a snapshot that's beaten away at the near post to deny him his first senior goal. Now it's blocked. Flynn Downs deflected and over the bar, and that deflection could have gone anywhere. I think it was Cody that it hit, but he came out, closed it down. It came down pretty quickly, but just cleared the bar and goes out for Southampton's first corner.
Well, he should have scored at one end, but he stopped a certain goal at the other. As the ball comes back to Flynn Downs, it's popped up really nicely, and if that's on target, which it was, you know, Danny Ward's not going to get anywhere near that because of the ferocity the shot came in. So brilliant defending and positioning from Cody. 6
Southampton players inside the penalty area for the corner. It's well headed away by Brunt. Comes out towards Flynn Downs, and then murmurs of discontent from the home fans as the ball is laid back for Wellington, and he goes all the way back inside his own half of Bazunu. It's route one ball forward from him. Edwards with a header from the left-hand side of the penalty area that wasn't far away from finding Adam Armstrong unmarked in the middle.
Well, just the pass back, it was the right idea from Wellington, because there was nothing on. You don't want to lose it there. Little bit of groans from the fans, but Danny Ward then has just pinged it 50, 60 yards. And Ronnie Edwards has got a better header on that, which I think he should have done. Adam Armstrong was absolutely free about 8 yards out. But that's where I'm talking about. The fans just need to be careful. Just a simple back pass. He was the last man. He didn't want to lose it there. There were 2 Wrexham players hunting him down. And that's where I feel if they were to go a goal down, it'd be interesting to see the reaction of the crowd here.
Adam Armstrong, the last Southampton player to score a winner for Saints here in the league. It was back in November. He was the second top scorer in the last championship season that they had. He got 21 goals as Southampton beat Leeds in the playoff final. His record, the difference between his Premier League record and championship record is stark. In the Premier League, only 6 goals at a rate of 1 every 15. The championship in his career, he's a 1 in 3 man with more than 80 goals. Here's Kiefer Moore trying to find a way through. Was he pushed? Yes, he was. Penalty to Wrexham. 1 long ball down the channels. Kiefer Moore got goal side. Edwards comes across, the referee Bellin protests his innocence, but there were hands in the back. Moore felt the contact, goes down, and Wrexham have the chance 20 minutes in to take the lead from the spot.
Well, first of all, great link-up play. Already, it looks like they've been playing for years. Josh Windass and Kiefer Moore. Lovely little ball to Moore. He's very, very clever, Kiefer Moore, because his first touch wasn't brilliant, but his second touch was getting across the central defenders. And what is Ronnie Edwards thinking of? He's put his hands in the back, inside the box, as Jack Stevens is coming across as well. Whatever you do, just even... You don't make the foul there. If he has to have a shot on his left foot, so be it. But my goodness me, now from a shot on his left foot, under pressure, now Wrexham have a penalty 12 yards out.
The last player to score a goal in the second tier of league football for Wrexham was Mick Vinter. It was back in 1982. long before Josh Windus was born. But this is his moment, midway through the first half, to give Wrexham the lead at Southampton. Stuttering run up, and he drives it into the bottom right-hand corner. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1, and the Red Dragons have arrived in the Championship.
Well, I go back to just decision-making. We talk about mental scarring. I mean, this wasn't a mental scarring thing, but it was a split second making the wrong decision. Sometimes if someone's got round the back of you, you almost, yes, you want to try and make them stop the shot, but if you can't, then put a bit of pressure on them, even verbally, but not hands on the back. And it's yet again what we saw last season, time after time after time, poor decision-making, whether it be passing out from the back. This was more basic defending from Ronnie Edwards. Let him have the shot in the end. But now, as an opportunity, 12 yards out, Josh Windus. And what we do know about him is he can put the ball in the back of the net. Very, very cool. It's a great finish. And we'll have to wait and see how Southampton can respond.
104th goal of Josh Windus' career, more than 60 of them have come at this level. It's his first for Wrexham on his debut. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. They had a glorious opportunity with Cody that they missed. They hit the bar from outside the penalty area with Windus, and he's hit the back of the net from 12 yards. Bazunu going the right way, and the penalty wasn't in towards the corner quite, but it was the pace that beat him. And Southampton trail here. Wrexham with a flying start as they look for a fourth successive promotion, and they lead here on the south coast by 1-0.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? They've had 66% possession, Southampton, and more shots than Wrexham. But if you talk about chances and coming closest to scoring, it's Wrexham 1, 2 and 3. 1-0 at the moment, so we're in a... It's a good finish from Josh Windus and really good link-up play. But first of all, Southampton, the defenders, have got to drop. They've got to understand when to get tight and when to hold the line and when to drop off. And then you just don't make a decision like that inside the box.
Here's Ryan Barnett coming forward for Wrexham, who are looking for more. Outside him is Dobson. Slightly misdirected cross from him. Comfortably caught by Gavin Bazunu, who races to the edge of his penalty area and then bowls the ball out for Jay Robinson. And forward from Robinson to Wellington and back towards the edge of the penalty area again for Kwashi. Now, elsewhere, Tranmere lead Shrewsbury by 2-0. 2 goals in 3 minutes. Taylor Harris and Josh Davison with the goals. Shrewsbury, who drew with Bromley the opening weekend of the season, still waiting to score, having been relegated from League One last season. 2-0 down today. Talking to Bromley in action in the week at home to Ipswich. That's our live League Cup game for you on Tuesday night on TalkSport 2. Very much looking forward to that one at Hayes Lane. 1-0 Wrexham lead here, and Southampton have a free kick after a foul by Cleworth that's earned him a yellow card.
My local club, Bromley, played the district finals at Bromley when they must have been in, 6th, 7th, 8th tier. I don't know where they were, so it's an amazing story for them as well. Talk about Wrexham. Bromley's a really good story too.
Yeah, certainly playing 8th tier football less than 20 years ago. Don't know the exact time frame, but they were in the Isthmian First Division, the back end of the noughties. So it's been an extraordinary rise, piloted by Andy Woodman most recently.
It was much longer than 20 years ago when I was playing
in a youth cup final.
And it wasn't even youth, I was at school.
Ball over the left-hand side of the penalty area here. Southampton chasing, and Ward read it well. Gets it away from Jay Robinson and puts it out of play for a Southampton throw level the edge of the penalty area. You know, they went 1-0 down in 28 games last season and didn't win any of them. They've got to do it the hard way today and try and come from behind. 2 balls on the pitch just for a moment. Robinson kicks the spare one away. The play goes on with Stevens in possession for Southampton. Out of the right-hand side for Ryan Fraser. Back from him to Edwards, who you'd think wouldn't be too battle-scarred by what happened here last season, because he couldn't get into the team. He was farmed out on loan to Queen's Park Rangers the second half of last season. Here he's got it now and goes all the way back for Bazunu. It's his error that gave away the penalty, and Wrexham lead 1-0 here on TalkSport.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a mental scarring. It was just a split-second bad decision. Look, I may have been there once or twice in my career where the guy's going behind you, but You can't afford to be doing something like that. The slightest touch now more than ever. Even a 6'5" Kiefer Moore will go down. And it was the right decision for the striker to do it. There was enough contact. It was a definite penalty. So it was an intriguing game at 0-0 on kickoff. Fascinating to see how Southampton will react from this.
Wrexham had a really good away record last season, unsurprisingly, bearing in mind they went up, but 8 away wins in 11 games coming into this. And Windus has made another excellent run. He stayed onside. No, he didn't. Looked as though he had, and the assistant referee on this near side, Matthew Smith, kept his flag down, but waited until Windus actually played the ball before putting the flag up. It is a free kick to Southampton, almost level the edge of their own penalty area. 27 gone. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1 on TalkSport.
Yeah, I mean, look, right decision for the referee's assistant to wait until Windus has actually touched the ball, but there were a few little seconds of groans, weren't there? Like, how on earth is he so free? And Josh Windus, very clever player, and playing this role just behind Kiefer Moore fantastically well. He's buzzing around, he's finding pockets of space. And the Southampton fans, you know, for a second thinking, oh my goodness, what's happened here? But yeah, right decision.
Wrexham have done a very good job of integrating the new signings quite clearly. They've made 8, as we've talked about. 7 of them are fit at the moment. George Thomason isn't, so he's not involved today quite clearly. 6 of the 7 that are fit started with Ryan Hardy on the bench, but you'd never look at the way that Wrexham have played so far and think that they've got a manager who's trying to integrate all these new players into the team. They've maybe got away with one there as Wellington went down. The referee has allowed play to go on. Flynn Downs has got it, and he's worked it square for Edwards, who's coming forward here for Southampton. They did have an Australian tour. They played in Australia and New Zealand. Wrexham without a great degree of success in terms of results, but all the new signings have come since then, so they've got very little experience of playing together this long. Ball inside the penalty area from Wellington, looking for Armstrong, and it's cleared away by Cody from the edge of the 6-yard box. Back in from Wellington, but it's been a shot by Kwashi, and a free kick goes Dobson's way inside his own penalty area. Wrexham still leading after that Josh Windus penalty 7 minutes ago.
I just want to mention George Dobson. I saw a lot of him when he was playing for Charlton. Charlton's most influential and most consistent player for a good few years, and really surprised to see the club let him go to Wrexham. Again, he's one of many who saw the project and was playing below his level. This is at least his level now, and I think he's showing that already. He's loving the responsibility of being one of those central midfielders in there, and he's helping Wrexham boss the game at the moment.
Yeah, he's one of 3 players playing today for Wrexham who've never previously played at this level. I mean, Dobson's got more than 300 League One appearances behind him. But the first time he's ever played at the Championship, Cleworth and Barnett, for the record, of the others that have never played this high. None of them have looked out of place at all. Wrexham have now got a free kick 15-18 yards outside the penalty area, and a chance to tease the ball in behind the Southampton back line that is standing in a line about a yard or 2 outside the box. Moore is there. He's got himself up against Stevens. Brunt's come forward as well. Flynn Downs is trying to keep an eye on him. It's going to be an opportunity for O'Brien just to try and tease one inside the Southampton penalty area. Wrexham look to double their lead. Brunt attacking it. Oh, he should have scored. It's a free header that he's put over the bar by a foot. This could be 3-0 to Wrexham inside half an hour, and the Southampton fans are getting restless.
Wow, what an opportunity that was. He definitely wasn't offside. He's completely free. Well, about 8 yards out, in front of goal as well. All he has to do is get on top of the ball, just keep it on target. And the fact that he's so close to the keeper's not going to be able to do anything, even if it's just half a yard to the side. What an opportunity.
Wellington didn't hold the line. Everybody else did. Wellington dropped back in, and he played 3 of them onside, including Brunt, and he should have scored. So that's Cody and Brunt who both missed good chances. They've hit the bar, and they have a 1-0 lead. Phil Parkinson will be thrilled on his return to Southampton. He started here as a youngster. Didn't make a senior appearance for the club in the 80s, but he was here just after the Shilton Keegan era. Part of a very successful Southampton side under Laurie McMenemy. Phil Parkinson will be really pleased with what he's seen so far. The referee's just coming across and having a word with a few on the Wrexham bench, and in fact has shown a yellow card there to Parkinson. At the behest of fourth official Tom Neal. First yellow card of the season for the new manager, or for the manager, should I say.
Well, I don't know why, because at the moment his tactics are absolutely spot on and his team are implementing them perfectly. Got to be careful, but clearly he said something to the fourth official, has called the referee over, yellow card straight away.
Matty James to take this latest Wrexham free kick. Just teased high towards the edge of the penalty area. Downs can head that one away for Southampton. And then Robinson taking a touch, just a little bit too heavy a touch. It's gone over the line. And out of play for a throw that'll be taken over on the Wrexham left. It is the first league meeting of these two teams since 1960, and only the 5th in history. They had a couple of seasons together in the 3rd division. Back after the split between 3 North and 3 South became Division 3 at the end of the 50s. But they've hardly met since, except for the very occasional cup tie. For Wrexham fans, it's almost worth the wait. They lead 1-0, good value for it as well. Here's Fraser for Southampton, bringing it forward. Flynn Downs making a good run ahead of him. Knocked away, though, by Brunt. Loose ball picked up in the midfield by Wellington. Wellington boots it out towards the right-hand touchline for Fraser to chase. And there's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on, and Fraser has given the free kick away. He's fouled Karche right in front of the Wrexham supporters over on the far touchline. 13 to go to half-time. Over on TalkSport 2 right now. Coventry 0, Hull 0. It's still 0-0 between Charlton and Watford. Wrexham leading here by a goal to 0 on TalkSport. Here's Scott Minto.
Yeah, and you mentioned about Phil Parkinson to be happy with what he's seen so far, and absolutely he will. And if anything, he might be saying to his team, if it stays like this until half-time, we should be further ahead. You know, it doesn't matter who you're playing, all the time there's only one goal in it. It only takes one bit of brilliance, one mistake, one set piece, and the other team are back in the game. And if Wrexham were able to have got the second, or still able to get the second, I think then we'll find out the resilience and the mental scarring of Southampton.
Dobson. Good touch from him out towards the right-hand side. Barnett chasing after it. Kwashi with the long legs did well to get there, and then nudges the ball one side of the retreating Dobson and ran the other side round it. Dobson fouled it. Free kick taken quickly by Southampton. A hurry to get on with it. Trailing 1-0. Wellington into the feet of Robinson. It's a difficult one for him to take. He did that. He works it back towards the edge of the 6-yard box. James comes in to intercept and get it away. Home crowd thought Robinson was fouled. Matty James picks up the ball in the midfield. Robinson gives him an exasperated little shove off the ball. Play goes on. O'Brien over the top for the run from Kakache down the Wrexham left. But Southampton get the ball back towards Bazunu. And then Fraser is just eased under the flight of the long ball forward. Brunt's fouled him. And it's a free kick to Southampton on halfway. But they've been rattled by the concession. They need to get themselves back into this. Trailing 1-0.
Absolutely. And Brunt needs to do that. He's about 1.5 foot taller than Ryan Fraser anyway. to push him to win the header. But yeah, Wrexham very, very much in control, even without the ball.
Oh, now a mistake by Cleworth. And Adam Armstrong's got the ball left-hand side of the area. Square from him to Robinson, but slightly behind the youngster. And he couldn't get it out from between his feet to get a shot in. And the chance is very quickly gone. And Cleworth, on his debut in the Championship, maybe just realising you don't have quite as much time as he's used to.
Absolutely, in control, unless they make silly mistakes. And he's got to be careful and make sure he's just solid first and foremost, and not allowed to be pushed off the ball. And again, that's just a moment that Southampton, if they were able to have capitalised on that, and it was a poor pass in the end, and suddenly they're back in the game. The whole psychology around the stadium, not just on the pitch, changes. So Wrexham need to be mindful of that.
Bazunu's long, aimless ball forward is greeted with the odd hoot of derision from the Southampton faithful. It's easily mopped up at the back by Wrexham. Unbeaten in 10 coming into this. Not that those statistics matter necessarily when you had such a widespread rotation as they have. Fraser checked his run, just stayed onside, lays the ball back for Wellington. Wellington to Robinson, 10 yards outside the penalty area, back from him to Stevens, the deepest of Southampton's outfield players. Edwards immediately put under pressure by O'Brien, is forced to go back inside his own half, and Stevens doesn't want to take any chances either under pressure from Kiefer Moore, and he uses the emergency exit behind him of Gavin Bazunu. Played forward now down the Southampton right, and volleyed away by Brunt, former Leicester man. Well, 2 in this side. Edwards on the edge of the centre circle for Southampton, who trail here by a goal to nil. Now Wellington through the midfield, flicked on by Charles. Fraser's come back, Armstrong, I beg your pardon, back from an offside position. And although he had 4 or 5 players between him and goal when he touched the ball, he made his run from too far up the pitch. It's a free kick that Cody will take, and Wrexham are 8 minutes away from a half-time lead.
I think Wrexham now just want to make sure they don't concede. Southampton, to be fair to them, have come back into it a little bit and still go back to the clear-cut chances have come from Wrexham. And yeah, they'll be absolutely delighted with 1-0 at Southampton away. 2 divisions separating them last season. They're now playing against each other. First game of the season, not sure how it's going to go, but actually, what Parkinson will be saying at half-time, really, we should have got at least 2.
Salford beaten last week in their League 2 opener, but they lead today. Aluo with the goal at Notts County. Notts County 0, Salford 1. The other game in League 2 still 2-0 to Tranmere. The games in League 1, Peterborough, Luton and Reading, Huddersfield both goalless. Wrexham lead here, goalless at Charlton and at Coventry, which is live for you right now over on TalkSport 2. Coventry 0, Hull 0. Hull, who've had a very busy season in the summer season in the transfer market, with a whole host of new players, including Joe Gelhardt, signed on loan from Leeds this morning and involved. Ollie McBurney arrived this week as well. Then 0-0 at much fancied Coventry over on TalkSport 2. Here's Kwashi. 7 minutes to go to half-time. Ball is played forward, and Barnett has cut it out. Barnett then loses out, and Shea Charles wins it back. Played forward by Charles towards Robinson. Robinson with a lovely pirouette in the midfield, turned away with ease from Barnett, gets it out of the Southampton right. Sugawara finding Flynn Downs. Downs gets to within 15 yards of the edge of the Wrexham penalty area. Wellington can work it forward down the left-hand side and then get a return ball, and a good one as well from Shea Charles. Back towards the edge of the penalty area for Flynn Downs. Still Downs goes Armstrong, and well saved. Comfortably stopped in the end by Danny Ward. The shot was right down the middle of the goal. He had to get down very quickly and scoop the ball into his body. Rare shot on target from Southampton, who still trail 1-0.
Yeah, and he's just sort of thinking, I know he's on the turn there, but you're right, it's straight down the throat of Danny Ward, and a simple save in the end, whereas 2 yards either side. There's no way he's going to get anywhere near that.
6 to go to half-time. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. Here's Jay Robinson, wearing 46 for Southampton. Out of the left-hand side for Fraser, who's changed his number over the course of the summer from 24 back to his favoured 26. Edwards getting it in towards Robinson, giving a shove, no foul, certainly not as clear-cut as the penalty at the other end. Flynn Downs picks it up, looked as though he was fouled. Referee's playing an advantage, and now another challenge towards the edge of the penalty area, and the referee says no foul that time. And play continues with a Wrexham clearance. Referee letting a fair bit go, although I think he got the penalty call right there. Ball out of play, and now it is a free kick to Southampton on the left-hand touchline. Should it have been a penalty?
No, I don't think so. I think he did get it right. I think there were 2 possible penalty shouts there, but I think it was right on both those occasions. I thought after that, Wellington was fouled, and that wasn't given as well. That was very brave, but the big decision for the penalty, no, is just good strength from Matty James.
But this time they do have a free kick in a promising area, and the Japanese international Sugawara is going to come across to take it. Spray is down, and Barnett, who's the one-man wall, is a couple of yards from the left-hand side of the penalty area. Can't possibly be standing in the right place for where Sugawara has spotted the ball down. That's because Sugawara is trying to take the free kick for the wrong place, and the referee has just put him right. He turns his back, and then Sugawara changes the angle again. So Barney's got to shuffle across again. Southampton have got 5 inside the 6-yard box. No room at all here for Danny Ward. Preponderance of yellow shirts in front of him trying to protect the space. Kwashi, the tallest player on the pitch, waits at the far post trying to steal a march on Kiefer Moore. Can Sugawara get the delivery right? It's clipped in right-footed into the 6-yard box. Good defensive header, got it away. I think it was from Cleworth. The miscue kick from Shea Charles. Header from Barnett. Picked up by Flynn Downs. Downs drives it forward straight at James, who was then able to control it. He might be able to get Wrexham going on the counter-attack here. Karche, had it been a better ball, was goal side of Flynn Downs, but it's innocuously run over the line and out of play for a Southampton throw.
Yeah, I've already mentioned George Dobson. I want to mention Matty James as well, one of those 3 centre midfielders. The captain, you know, he's got that great ability of the composure, of able to slow the game down when it's needed.
Robinson with a clever ball forward. Oh, Fraser kept it alive, and is really unlucky that it ends up going wide. Looked to be an overhit ball that was going to run out of play for a goal kick. Fraser didn't give it up. Hooked his left foot around it, straight into the nearest defender, and it's ricocheted off his shin and spooned wide of the far post. Nothing Ward could have done about that. And it's a second Southampton corner. 3 to go to half-time. 1-0 to Wrexham. Sugawara will go across to take it. 3 inside the 6-yard box again, including Edwards. Off the top of his head towards the far post. Saints trying to keep it alive down by the other corner flag, and Stevens will clear it into Cody, and he goes out of play for a throw.
It's what they need to do. They need to get Ryan Fraser and Jay Robinson, and those difficult for the youngster to really sort of boss it in that position. But those 2 number 10s are really important. The box midfield hasn't quite worked in terms of dominating the game and creating chances. Wrexham have done very well there, but yeah, Ryan Fraser, so unlucky. It's a good save, good positional sense from Danny Ward.
First opportunity for us to see Kwashi's long throw. And he's hurled it in towards the near post. Kiefer Moore's back to head it away. Back in from Flynn Downs. His header volleyed away. And Southampton will pick it up with the retreating Kwashi. Hits it briskly, and he had to. Back to his goalkeeper, Bazunu taking a touch and being able to turn it away from Windus, and then being told, having got away with it, to calm down by Will Still. Here's Robinson. Robinson knocking it square to his right-hand side. Shea Charles, 90 seconds to go to half-time. Wrexham have led for more than 20 minutes now. The Windus penalty after a foul by Edwards on Moore. Here's Stevens. Joshua Kwashi, one of 2 summer signings for Southampton. The other, Damian Downs, a United States international forward, is on the bench. I'm sure we'll see him sooner rather than later in the second half. Kwashi to Stevens, under pressure from Moore. Ball out towards the Southampton right. And the pressure from O'Brien has forced them to go back for Bazunu. Every Phil Parkinson side so well drilled out of possession. They're going to have less possession this season than ever before. It's also interesting that they've elected for plenty of experience. They had to do that to get players in who've played at this level, and we've talked about the absence of that experience of top and second tier football. But in doing that, the average age of the squad has gone up, and that's never normally a recipe for real success in the Championship. It's hard to really quantify what success for Wrexham would be. Get Scott's views on that in a moment. First of all, though, Wrexham have another long throw to defend. Kwashi leans back against the electronic hoardings. Now hurls the ball inside the penalty area. Better distance on that one. Headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box. Turned further cleared by Windus. Left-footed ball clipped back in by Wellington. Didn't get hold of it. It's knocked Windus off his feet. And play will stop because the referee is concerned with Josh Windus lying down 10 yards outside the penalty area. We've got 2 minutes of stoppage time. And that will only start once the referees make sure that Windus is okay. But it does give me the chance to just ask you what you think success for Wrexham looks like this season.
I personally think sort of mid-table really is good for them. I think anyone who thinks they're going to be going for another promotion, I don't think they quite realise, one, the journey they've come from, and 2, how hard the Championship is. But certainly in this particular game, and I never judge teams good or bad. You know, you talk about Birmingham and Ipswich of last night, just on the first game of the season. Obviously, you want to have a good start. A good start is you start looking at teams over 6 games minimum and seeing how they're doing. Well, what I would say at the moment is that he talked about that they went to Australia and New Zealand, and a lot of these players weren't even there. One part of me thinks that's not necessarily a bad thing. The body clock, how long it takes to get back into England time, takes well over a week. So, there's recovery sessions there. But also, I want to give credit to Phil Parkinson again, because if these players have only come in this late, and they look like they've been together for 3 or 4 years, the way they're playing at the moment, both with and without the ball. And I love the link-up play between Kiefer Moore and Josh Windass. So, look, I think in this particular season, if they were to finish mid-table, not in any way flirting with relegation, then I think it would be great. And then I'm sure next season they'd try and kick on and maybe try and go for the playoffs.
I saw one of those computer predictions. Windass is okay, he's coming off. Play's going to resume in a moment. So one of those computer predictions that tells you where everyone's going to finish from a very well-known and reputable firm. I had Wrexham finishing significantly below Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship table this season, and that will not happen.
I was just about to say, Sheffield Wednesday were mid-table in that, weren't they?
Sheffield United champions by a street, and Wrexham finishing in the bottom 4. The ball over on the right-hand side for Southampton. A couple of minutes of stoppage time to go. Robinson! Oh, he's hit the post! And then the clearance off the line denies Armstrong. Well, Wrexham had just switched off, down to 10 men defending that ball played in. Robinson sweeping it from the left-hand side of the penalty area, past Ward. It hit the post, came back out for Adam Armstrong, who had time to take a touch. He went first time, and Cody just got himself in the way. It's his second goal-saving block of the half.
Yeah, really unlucky from Southampton. Wonderful first-time ball in, which doesn't allow defenders to try and pick up their man. So unlucky, Robinson hitting the post, and then a double attempt from Adam Armstrong. Brilliant defending yet again from Connor Cody, and that's what I'm talking about when you're only 1-0 up. Just takes one moment and the whole complexion of the game changes.
About 40 seconds of first half stoppage time remain. Southampton's third corner. It's an away swinger. Comes through a crowd, bounces, Barnett gets it away. Robinson, it's a blatant handball by Kiefer Moore. Referee hasn't spotted that. Play goes on, that should be a yellow card. And he clearly put his hand out there to try and stop Southampton working it back in. Listen, it's a very easy game to referee from up here. James Bell much closer and possibly too close to it. Might have had his view obscured, but that was a blatant handball. Ball in now from Robinson. Fraser makes the run to try and get on the end of it. Edwards might be able to pick it up. O'Brien's knocked it away from him over on the far touchline and will just work it forward down the line. Another good ball by Kakache. Here's Windass in the middle. If Moore can find him, he couldn't. Kwashi came across to block it, and the referee will signal half-time before the corner can be taken. The boos are for the officials. Wrexham leading by a goal to nil, scored from the penalty spot. Absolutely no complaints about the validity of the penalty, and no complaints really from a Southampton perspective that Wrexham shouldn't be ahead. They missed a great chance at 0-0. They hit the bar at 0-0. They then scored the penalty, and Cody's made 2 critical blocks at the other end, while Southampton have also hit the post. Wrexham not here in the Championship to make up the numbers. We didn't think they would be. That's a really impressive opening 45 minutes against a side that were playing Premier League football recently. Half-time, Southampton 0, Wrexham 1.
Well, storylines everywhere, as I said before the game. And Scott Minto, let's start with that goal. The penalty from Josh Windass, he's buried it. No chance for the keeper, even though it wasn't right in the corner. He's just hit it, as Stuart Pearce would say, with so much violence. But what on earth is Ronnie Edwards thinking of? And the other question is, how on earth is Ronnie Edwards still on the pitch? That has to be a red card, doesn't it? He's made no attempt to play the ball, blatantly pushed Kiefer Moore over in the box when he's got a goal-scoring opportunity. That, to me, is a red card. I don't get it.
Well, yeah, I mean, to the letter of the law, you can go along with that. I don't think it was quite a harsher sort of push as it was, but it was a penalty, you know, so therefore you can certainly argue that, Aid. I can't disagree with you there. I do think it would have been harsh, you know, but, I mean, look, you talk about the chances and what Wrexham have had. They've only had 30% possession, and the stats will say they've only had 1 shot on target. But my goodness me, they've created 4 or 5 chances where they should have at least scored 2 or 3. Ronnie Edwards, I know what it's like when you're in that position. You don't want that shot to go off, but and it's difficult to think in such a split second. What's the lesser of 2 evils? Letting Kiefer Moore have a shot while he's on the run, on his left foot, with Jack Stevens trying to come across as well and the keeper still in front of him, or sort of just pushing and giving away a penalty. It's clearly not thinking in these critical situations. And you know, whatever you say about whether Southampton will be good, not good, Wrexham haven't had the possession but created chances, it's all about what happens in both boxes, and that was a terrible decision from Ronnie Edwards.
Aid very quickly, I think the fact that Stevens was there on the scene probably means it's not a red card, or possibly means it's not a red card, but worth pointing out, the referee actually didn't even give Edwards a yellow.
Yeah, that puzzles me, but what puzzles me more is Ronnie Edwards' decision-making. He must know, he's experienced enough. He was in the Championship last season on loan at QPR, where they loved him, by the way. Terrible decision on opening day, and Wrexham have the lead. And it's interesting, Scott, what you say about the possession, because this has been levelled as a criticism at Wrexham in their period of rise from non-league to Championship. They're not that great to watch. They don't even like having the ball, but they just get results. It's not Pep Guardiola football. Does that really matter?
Back-to-back promotions, I think, tells you not even Pep Guardiola can beat that. May have been able to match it, but I'm not even so sure on that. Look, Phil Parkinson is what he is. You know what he is. He's a very sort of direct manager. I don't want to use the words old school, because sometimes people attach that as if that's a bad thing, and as actually it's not. Very mean defence, get the ball out wide, get crosses in the box, and with the likes of Kiefer Moore now and Josh Windass, who are playing so intelligently together, this is a really impressive first half performance. I don't care whether, listen, I love watching Pep Guardiola, you know what I think about him, but I don't care. I want the players to match the style, whatever it takes to get a winning game, and Wrexham at this moment in time are playing a winning game, and they will be disappointed, as happy as they will be with how they've kind of bossed it with and without the ball, that they haven't scored a second goal, because just right on half-time there, Southampton were very unlucky they didn't equalise.
Yeah, and on Southampton, they did grow into the game. They got better as the half went on. Connor Cody with some brilliant defending, and it's showing why Wrexham have signed him. But there was some unrest. You mentioned it in commentary. There was some unrest from Southampton fans, maybe about half an hour in, as another Saints move broke down. And for a long period of that first half, Wrexham looked the better side. A bit for Will Still to work on, for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. And I talked about and Will Stills talked about the psychological scarring of the players. But talk about the fans and the scarring there, because what they saw, and they were turning up and paying their hard-earned money to go and watch what was absolutely dross football, and certainly losing football as well. You know, there's a lot of them who've still got that fresh in their mind. So first game of the season, you dropped a division, you're expecting your team playing at home to go on and win the game, and actually you're not only not winning it, but you're not bossing it at all. I'm not surprised the fans have reacted at times the way they are, but look, it's not as if they're trying to get on top of the players. They're absolutely not. Just a couple of times, a few little moans and groans, but it's down to the players to turn it around, and really there hasn't been enough of it from Southampton. A very good start to the season, start to this game in the first couple of minutes. Towards the end, they very nearly equalised, but in between, not really been good enough.
Let me give you the half-times elsewhere. Championship, Charlton 0, Watford 0, Coventry 0, Hull City 0, that's live on TalkSport 2 right now. League 1, Peterborough 0, Luton 0, Reading 0, Huddersfield 0, and in League 2, Notts County 0, Salford 1, Tranmere 2, Shrewsbury 0, Tranmere with 2 goals in 3 minutes. And in the Championship, live on TalkSport, Southampton 0, Wrexham 1, and so far, Josh Windass is the superhero for Wrexham.
So week 1 of the Championship. 9 months of intrigue, intangibles, and all-pervading intensity. Windass with a delivery into a dangerous area. It should be 1-0 Wrexham. Cody on the stretch, and he's diverted it over the bar. Windass towards the edge of the penalty area, letting fly, and he's hit the bar.
Ozuna was beaten, no doubt about it. It's dipped, but not dipped enough.
Last 6 years, at least one relegated side has bounced back to the Premier League at the first attempt. Flynn Downs deflected and over the bar. Here's Kiefer Moore trying to find a way through. Was he pushed? Yes, he was. Penalty to Wrexham. There were hands in the back. Moore felt the contact, goes down.
What is Ronnie Edwards thinking of?
Josh Windass, this is his moment to give Wrexham the lead at Southampton. Stuttering run up, and he drives it into the bottom right-hand corner. And the Red Dragons have arrived in the Championship.
Incredible, isn't it? They've had 66% possession, Southampton. And if you talk about chances and coming closest to scoring, it's Wrexham 1, 2 and 3.
Brunt attacking it. Oh, he should have scored. It's a free header that he's put over the bar by a foot. This could be 3-0 to Wrexham, and the Southampton fans are getting restless. A couple of minutes of stoppage time to go. Robinson! Oh, he's hit the post! And then the clearance off the line denies Armstrong.
Whether you're screaming from the stands or the sofa, Virgin Bet has even more for you to shout about this season. Because we're giving you a totally free bet builder on any Sunday football match every week this season. Virgin Bet, a good bet. Use Bet Builder free bet on any match this Sunday. Min odds evens, max one free bet £1 to £20, except via pop-up. T's and C's apply. Bet responsibly. Gambleaware.org. 18+.
If an Audi's on your mind this summer, now's the time. With attractive offers across the range when you order a new Audi by the 31st of August and take delivery by the 31st of December. Start your search at audi.co.uk or visit your local Audi centre.
New balls, please.
Audi. Vorsprung durch Technik. Terms and conditions apply. Retail customers and participating Audi centres only.
Vodafone's new customer service is a little bit different. It's called Just Ask Once. Message them on the Vodafone app. You deal with one person and they keep you updated until it's sorted, so you can get on with your day. Walk his ears then. Just Ask Once. Customer service made easy from Vodafone, the nation's network.
Available via your My Vodafone app. Messaging service only. Exclusions apply. Vodafone UK, supporting the nation since 1984. More details, vodafone.co.uk/network.
We're the dirty secret in your drains.
We may start as a nasty little nick,
but we get more powerful.
Crawling up your palace,
choking your toilet,
until it's all aboard the express train to drain pain.
When your drains become a total horror show, call Metro Rod.
Metro Rod's heroes are on hand 24/7 to nuke all the nasty surprises in your pipes. For sanitation salvation, visit metrorod.co.uk. Metro Rod, here to save the day.
With LV, I can get my car insurance from just £349. Just the price I'm after right now. And if I'm hit by an uninsured driver, I won't lose my no-claim discount, because insurance is simple when it's me and LV.
No wonder we're rated excellent on Trustpilot. Get your quote today at lv.com.
10% of new customers pay £349 or less November 2024 to April 2025.
Uninsured driver promise is non-fault accident only. Other vehicle and driver details required. LV General Insurance is part of Allianz.
I'm Professor Huggington, and I like to home.
When your kid's favourite toy starts to run out of battery power, no need to worry. Your new batteries are already on their way, arriving today with Prime. Everyday essentials delivered fast. It's on Prime.
I'm Professor Huggington, and I like to hug.
Cut-off times and T's and C's apply. See product page when ordering.
Talk Sport. New season. More high density, super real, kick-by-kick commentary from more leagues than ever.
Oh, he's hit the crossbar!
Hear over 500 games of live football.
What a fantastic strike!
A new sensational season starts this August on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Adrian Durham, live at Stoke, who face Derby in the Championship this afternoon. I'll be taking you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in when our live exclusive commentary from the Championship on day one of the season is done. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1, second half coming up. And as ever, around the grounds, all the goals means we've got people at games and at Norwich Millwall this afternoon. Dean Ashton, the former Norwich striker. How are you doing, Dean?
Very well, Aid. Good afternoon. Great to be back as always.
Isn't it? And the drama we've had already. Birmingham taking a lead against Ipswich last night. Ipswich looking out of sorts, playing a player who might be on his way back to the Premier League in Leif Davis. And then a decision goes against Birmingham, which hasn't happened to them all of last season in League One, by the way. And they simply couldn't cope with it. Ipswich get a draw they didn't deserve. And that's the drama and controversy of the Championship. It always delivers. And now Wrexham 1-0 up at Southampton and possibly could be 2 or 3-0 up. It's just a great division, always delivers.
It does, and obviously we've got the teams coming down from the Premier League, which are going to be strong, but it just feels like the rest of the league is just squashed together, and anyone really could have a right go at getting promotion and playoff football in this division, and that's what I've loved about it last season. I think it's even better this season because of that strength that's actually really being pushed up all the way from the National League into League 2 and 1 and into the Championship. They're really pushing and squeezing that through into the Championship, and we're starting to see that.
Absolutely bang on with that. There's a concertina effect upwards, which is improving the quality and the drama. You're watching Millwall today. I make them dark horses, actually. They were close to getting into the playoffs last season. I think they've signed well in the summer. It'll be interesting to see how they go early season.
Yeah, I mean, it is a slightly newer approach from Millwall. Obviously, record signings coming in, so spending a bit of money. Doughty coming in's exciting with that left foot of his, and then you've got Coburn, obviously, that'll probably play alongside Ivanovic, who, and again, you know, these players at the start of the season, similar to Norwich, there is that excitement, but there's that trepidation, I'm sure, for the supporters. They don't want to lose these players. But I think you're right, actually. I think under Alex Neil, I think if they can get off to a good start, Millwall, I think they will surprise quite a few people, but I think they're a little light, I would say, if they were to get a couple of injuries. But, you know, it's going to be a difficult test for them here at Carrow Road, for sure, with Liam Manning's first league game.
Oh, Liam Manning has Norwich heritage, no doubt about it. And Norwich underachieving, really. Finished 13th twice in 3 seasons since coming down from the Premier League. That's not where the fans want to be. It's why they've had managers come and go in quick succession. They need to be successful this season, Norwich.
Yeah, and it feels like the new owners have properly settled in, and I think it's time to get serious for this football club. I think it maybe hasn't been for a few years in the end of Delia and Michael's reign. They've got a serious manager in charge that I think's getting better and better with every job that he has. They've brought in some great recruits. They've gone for a bit of size and physicality with the signings that they've made. There's some young players in there too. I think it is very exciting, actually, what could be built this season for Norwich. Might take a bit of time to bed in, but once again, have to keep Josh Sargent. You lose him, it suddenly looks a different outlook. He's such an important player and probably the best forward in the league.
Yeah, lost Borja Sainz, didn't they, to Porto in the summer for a lot of money. And they're right about those middling teams and teams that have been in the Championship a while. Middlesbrough take on Swansea today. 2 good examples of that. QPR and Preston face each other today, and I'm watching Stoke Derby. There's a lot of teams which will have fans with high expectations, Dean.
There always is at the start of the season, and, you know, they'll have some players that have gone that some fans will be pleased about and some fans will be disappointed about, but then there's those fresh players that come in that give you hope as a supporter, and as you should do at the start of every season. One thing I would say, certainly to the supporters, is please don't let this first game affect how you deal with the rest of the season, please.
There's doom and gloom. Dean, thanks very much. Second half about to get underway at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. Scott Minto alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Yeah, the wise words of Dean Ashton there, I think something that Southampton fans would do well to heed. Very, very difficult when you've seen your side struggle as they have over the last 3 years. They've only won 18 of the last 61 league games here, and they've had a promotion-winning campaign in that time. We are back underway. Southampton kicking from left to right with no changes in personnel at half-time. I'll run through the 2 teams for you and the options off the bench very shortly. It's 1-0 to Wrexham with Windus's penalty midway through the first half, and yellow cards for Flynn Downs and Max Cleworth within that first 45 minutes. It's Cleworth right on cue who can get the ball away. It just cleared Wellington, dropped over his shoulder, and Wrexham was still able to get it with Kiefer Moore. Whistle's gone for a foul on Windus. And it's a free kick that'll be taken over on the Wrexham right-hand side. They're lining up Ward in goal, Cleworth, Cody and Brunt, Barnett, Dobson, James, O'Brien and Kakache. It's Matty James who's starting, Windus and Moore as the front 2. Southampton, Bazunu in goal, Stevens, Edwards, Kwasi, the back 3, Sugawara and Wellington, Fraser, Charles and Flynn Downs, and then Robinson off Armstrong. Wrexham take this free kick, and the offside flag is up against Windus. On the bench for Southampton, Scott Minto, plenty of attacking options, and you would imagine that the likes of Damien Downs and Ross Stewart we might see sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about that, didn't we, just off air at half-time, the options they have, and they have a lot, certainly in terms of strikers. You can chuck in Cameron Archer and Ben Brereton Diaz there as well. Obviously, Mateus Fernandes should be playing, but if he's possibly going away, then and you don't really want to start him, then why is he on the bench?
Wrapped in cotton wool at the moment. Southampton bringing it forward here with Charles. With a shot towards the bottom left-hand corner that deflected, maybe off an arm, wide just of the other post with Ward beaten. And it went out for a corner. There was only about a foot or so in it, but was there a hand in it? And I'll tell you what there is.
Yes.
It's a clear penalty that hasn't been given. It's hit the left arm of Cleworth, which is away from his body on the left-hand side in an unnatural position. Yeah. And Wrexham have got away with one there.
Absolutely. If you're a Southampton fan, you're saying his arm's further out.
As Sugawara takes the corner, which is headed away, and Flynn Downs will be able to pick it up. Wellington can bring it forward. Diverted towards the edge of the box. Charles with a snapshot that is blocked. It comes back out Wellington's way again. And Southampton will recycle it much deeper. Downs with a high ball forward. Ronnie Edwards with a header back across the edge of the 6-yard box, and Armstrong coming onto it. Heads it over the bar. Good start for Southampton, but they should have had a penalty. When you look at the penalty incident last night in the Blues-Ipswich game, you look at that particular incident, it's just the lack of consistency that frustrates the players is in evidence.
I agree, and the referee might say today that his arm wasn't above his shoulder, but no, it was out. And only the most ardent Wrexham fan will say, hold on a minute, that's not an unnatural position. And look, he can certainly claim, Cleworth, well, where am I meant to put my arms? Well, it should be a little bit closer to his body, really.
But 1-0 Wrexham lead, and the ball is headed away by Sugawara. And although Southampton did come into the game as the half progressed after a decent opening 10 minutes, Wrexham, I think, deserve the 1-0 advantage they've got with the quality of chances that they have been able to create.
Yeah, they do, and if anyone wants to criticise Phil Parkinson for the lack of possession, well, we'll keep on doing it because his team just keeps on winning. And at this moment in time, as I say, not just the scoreline, but the quality of chances. Wrexham have had more quality chances than the Southampton have had.
Stevens finding Edwards. Edwards will bring the ball forward over the halfway line. Southampton in their new home shirts for this season, predominantly white these days, with 2 red stripes down the front. It's all white at the back. Wrexham in their change kit of yellow and very dark green. Kiefer Moore, right-footed effort from him is blocked right in front of him by Shea Charles, and Moore might have turned his ankle as the ball cannoned back into him after the block was made. He's still lying on the edge of the Southampton penalty area. Saints entitled to play on. Now the referee hasn't stopped play this time. High ball forward, Ward catches that. It was too long for Robinson. And now referee James Bell will stop play so that Kiefer Moore can receive whatever treatment is necessary.
Look, firstly, well done referee. It was not a head injury, so just play on. It's as simple as that. But Kiefer Moore, and it does look painful. I've just seen a replay of it. He's cut inside. He shouldn't be allowed to be cut inside. He's just overplayed his second to last touch. His last touch, we thought, I'll have a shot. And he shouldn't really have gone for it because he was stretching. And in the end, it was a collision. It was good defending from Shea Charles. He got himself into the right position. And he just dangled that foot as he's had a shot. And, it looks like he's twisted his ankle and he's in a lot of pain at the moment.
Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. On TalkSport. After this, Adrian Durham will bring you the fastest goal service on the radio. All the goals as they go in. We've also got West Brom Blackburn live on TalkSport 2. And then at 5:30, Jason Cundy and former Liverpool winger Jermaine Pennant will bring you the game day phone in for a chance to react to the day's results. The opening of the Championship campaign, the opening of the National League campaign as well today. 03717223344, the number that gets you through. We've got more live football coming up tomorrow as well from the Championship. Leicester against Sheffield Wednesday. It's a 4:30 kickoff. That is over on TalkSport 2. Here on TalkSport tomorrow afternoon, Liverpool against Crystal Palace at what will be a very emotional Wembley. The Community Shield. Adrian Durham in the chair and Dean Ashton alongside Sam Matterface for that game tomorrow, which kicks off at 3 at Wembley on TalkSport. I told you earlier about the Carabao Cup special that we've got coming up for you on Tuesday. All the goals as they go in, and Bromley Ipswich live over on TalkSport 2 Wednesday. Huddersfield Leicester from the Carabao Cup on TalkSport 2 and the Super Cup from northeastern Italy. We're in Udine for PSG Tottenham Premier League campaign. Begins live and exclusive on TalkSport on Friday with Liverpool against Bournemouth, and next weekend Wrexham in action at home to West Brom. That's this time next week over on TalkSport 2. Southampton in action Sunday lunchtime next week. They go to Ipswich. That also exclusive on TalkSport 2 next Sunday. That brings you up to date with all of the action that we've got coming up, or certainly the principal highlights of it. Moore is shaking his head. I don't know that he's going to be able to continue. They've tried to patch him up. They were just waiting for permission for him to come back on as play restarted. But he's shaken his head and just gone down on his haunches again. And I wonder whether Sam Smith might be coming on very shortly to replace him. Southampton in possession, trailing 1-0, 7 minutes into the second half. Sugawara trying to find a way through past Liberto Kakache. And it comes off the New Zealand international out of play for a throw that Saints will take down towards the corner flag. Steve Parkin, Phil Parkinson's number 2, comes across and has a word with Moore. It doesn't look great. I think that Wrexham are going to have to make a change. Smith, indeed, getting ready. His number 28 shirt just being put on as we speak. Ball is over on the Southampton left. Robinson making his way forward, trying to cut inside the penalty areas. Pulled the ball back for Stevens. Stevens doesn't let fly. Goes out towards Sugawara, bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. Fraser forced wide by Brunt, has been able to maintain possession and goes back for Sugawara. The Japanese to Ronnie Edwards. Back for Sugawara again, whose right-footed cross was telegraphed somewhat and easily blocked by Kakache. Moore has come across and has sat down, as Smith will be on in a moment. So Wrexham forced into a first change 9 minutes into the second half. Southampton try and get the ball forward. Cleworth got a late shout from Ward to leave an innocuous cross at the near post. He can drop onto it, and next time the ball goes out of play, Wrexham will make the change. Sam Smith coming on for Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, and while Kiefer Moore was down, Will Steele was in real intense conversations with Adam Lallana and Paul Trollope, with part of his coaching staff. He told 4 of the Southampton players to go and warm up, and yet it's Wrexham who make the first substitution, but that's absolutely enforced. I think Kiefer Moore has been superb today. He really has run the line really well, brought the ball down, laid it off to Josh Windass, and it's something that Phil Parkinson would not have wanted to make.
So £1-2 million striker replaced by another, Sam Smith, who's the record signing at the club when he arrived from Reading back in January. As the ball is played in the Wrexham penalty area and headed towards goal by Shea Charles, but header is comfortably saved by Ward. Wrexham go from back to front really quickly, looking for Smith. Quashi's dealt with him. I don't know the stats, Scott, you will. The eye test tells me that Southampton are having even more possession in this second half than they did in the first. Not really able to create too many clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities with it. Has been quite a fragmented start of the second half. Paul Trollope, the Southampton assistant manager, is furious with 4th official Tom Neild, or with the officiating, and is making a point quite vehemently to him. Play continues around them. Sugawara over to the Southampton left-hand side for Wellington.
Go on, guess the number according to my stats here and what they've had possession second half.
I'm going to say
go higher than you think.
81, 82,
90 according to this.
90. Well, they've not done with it, and not done much with it for 90 in probably 8 minutes of play within the 10 minutes of the second half we've seen so far.
No, but we wanted to see them be a bit more intent and have goal-scoring opportunity. We talked about in the first half, Wrexham were quite happy to have less than 50%, far less, and still created the better opportunities. But at least they've sort of looked like they want to try and attack in the final third, which we didn't see enough of for me in the first half.
Oh, Brunt's done well, and he's driven the ball forward here for Smith, who's timed his run to perfection. Sliding challenge was excellent from Jack Stevens. Southampton are absolutely convinced Smith was offside, but it was really good defending from Brunt, who curtailed the move, chested the ball down, and then flighted one over the top, and the replay shows that Quashie had played Smith on. It was a great decision from the assistant referee.
Do you know what? It's not the first time he's done that as well, Cross. He did that one time in the second half where he came across and made the tackle, but he didn't need to. He's got to look along the line, and Jack Stevens, I mean, it's one of those where he's got to be absolutely inch perfect, and thankfully for him it was. Wonderful tackle inside the box as you go to ground, but it was definitely onside.
Sun shining on the south coast, sun shining on Wrexham. They lead 1-0. High ball in from the corner, which is only their second of the game, and it's bypassed everybody and then curved harmlessly out of play for a goal kick, which Gavin Bazunu wants to take quickly. Wrexham 3 promotions in a row. Only 2 clubs in English or in the English league structure have ever managed 4. Truro City and Shaw Lane, who don't exist anymore. They're a non-league side in Barnsley. They're in the Barnsley area. They've both done 4 promotions in a row within the 21st century. But it would be completely unprecedented at the level at which Wrexham would try to do it if they were to be able to put it off.
Trust you to know that.
That's research. Well, I've had 8 weeks off, Scott. I've had to do something.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, mate.
Ball is over on the left-hand side of the midfield with Downs cleverly turning it around the corner for Adam Armstrong. Shot across the face of goal. Ends up drifting wide. He had to take it quickly under pressure from Cleworth. And it goes out for a goal kick that will be taken away to our right. And there is going to be some action now on the Southampton bench. That's what the cheers are for. It's a difficult situation with Fernandez because they've had to wrap him in cotton wool. He's almost behind the emergency glass. Break only in case of emergency to bring him on. But he's such a good player. They're really going to miss him when they've sold him. They won't miss the money they'll get for him. But they need him. The game crying out for that little injection that he is likely to be able to bring.
Well, it's one of those things where, you know, Will Still, clearly he would have been told, he knows it, you know, he's going to be off at some point, otherwise he would have been one of the first names on the team sheet. So the fact that he was on the bench, you don't want to bring him on. At the same time, this is his first game in English football as a manager. Can't afford to be at home losing against a promoted side. So he has to do whatever he's got on the bench. So him, plus Damien Downs, and one of the other 2 new signings. What a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to manage. We saw it last night at Ipswich using Broadhead off the bench, and he may well be a Wrexham player by this time next week. That £7.5 million deal is still rumbling away in the background. Got a similar situation in the game that I'm covering tomorrow, Leicester against Sheffield Wednesday, where there will be players playing for Wednesday tomorrow who've given their notice in. And it will be their last game for the club. Now the changes will be made, and here comes Fernandez, a very popular arrival. He's going to replace Sugawara. I think Southampton will go back to a back 4 as a result of this change. And Damien Downs, the £7 million arrival from Cologne, who got 10 goals in Bundesliga 2 last season. He's going to come on for Adam Armstrong. There are 2 men that you wouldn't confuse in an identity parade. Downs, who towers above the affable Geordie. So Adam Armstrong off, Damien Downs on, and the biggest roar for Fernandez, who comes on.
Definitely positive substitutions. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there would have been a chat with Will Still and the boards. And look, he's not gone yet. Can I have him on the bench if things aren't going too well? But if they are, I'll promise you I won't use him. And they've kind of, yeah, okay. They must understand. They must feel that you can't just limp towards, you know, losing your first game at home against, as I say, a promoted side where 2 divisions separated you last season. Start is so important. I don't judge a team on 1 game, but the start is so important, that momentum you can build. So if he's allowed to get him on the bench, then he's got to use him in this situation.
I prejudged Southampton going back to a back 4. They haven't done that. They've dropped Fraser in at right wing back in Sugawara's position. And Fernandez has come on into midfield. Peterborough 0, Luton 1 in League 1.
Don't tell Adrian.
He'll know. Peterborough 0, Luton 1. It's 0-0 between Reading and Huddersfield. Salford are 2 up at Notts County in League 2. Shrewsbury 2 down at Tranmere, and a man down as well now. Tranmere 2, Shrewsbury 0, and they've just had a player sent off. Live over on TalkSport 2. Coventry 0, Hull 0, 18 minutes into the second half. And we're a couple of minutes behind them here. And 1-0 to Wrexham still the score. The other championship game, they're 58 minutes in. Charlton against Watford is goalless. Here's Downs, who's reminiscent, you might remember Jason Lee. He looks a little bit like him in terms of build, and I think he asked for a Jason Lee at the Barbers, so you'd be able to visualise what I'm talking about.
Former youth teammate of mine.
You didn't go to the same Barbers?
We didn't go to the same Barbers, but no, we're still in contact, me and Jace, and our youth team as a group. Had a very good career.
Yeah, fine player, the likes of Nottingham Forest.
And do you know what? You know, similar, very tall, very big, very strong. We'll have to wait and see whether he can run the channels in the way that Jace could and hold the ball up, but he's certainly got the physicality, he looks like, to do it.
Well, he's playing in through the middle. He played predominantly 4-3-3 pre-season, and Downs sometimes was playing on the left of the front three, but he is pretty much through the middle as the sort of archetypal number 9 here. Southampton chasing the game. They had the worst home record in Premier League history last year, only 6 points out of a possible 57, and they're trailing here. Kwashi, all the ball, but they haven't been able to make it pay so far, Southampton. Edwards into Fernandez. Fernandez just trying to draw a challenge, gave Brunt something different to think about as he had to step up from the defensive line. Ball worked out from Wellington, clipped inside the penalty area. It's a little push. And the referee said certainly no more than a little push as Wellington went to ground, and the appeals from the northern end that should be a penalty have fallen on deaf ears, I think, understandably. Southampton bring it forward again. Stevens down to the right hand side. Fraser playing slightly wider now. Kwashi chip down towards Fraser again, who will just flick the ball in with his right foot down towards Ronnie Edwards and straight back again. Flynn Downs, blonde-haired midfielder, making a good run off the ball. Fernandez trying to take the ball in his stride through the penalty area. Wrexham smuggle it away. O'Brien, one back well. Charles getting the better of Dobson. Wrexham chasing shadows a little bit at the moment. Here's Robinson down the left-hand side of the Southampton penalty area. Wrexham clear, and it's out of play for a Saints throw. But you sense that the home fans beginning to believe now.
Yeah, it's very positive. It is all Southampton at the moment. And what I would say is, if you're going to bring on someone like Downs and for Armstrong, because you're absolutely right, one's about 6'4", the other's about 5'4". Don't be afraid, one, to get the ball a little bit longer. He's trying to make the runs in the box, but also crosses in. You know, you can't force it like they've just tried to do now. And sometimes when you're in the own half and Wrexham are completely dropping in, you're not going to be able to think that ball over the top. But once you have that ball a little bit further back, don't be afraid to go a little bit more direct, which, you know, in the last couple of years has not really been in Southampton's DNA. But there's no point in having someone like Downs there if you don't use him to his strengths.
Well, Southampton have made a double change. Wrexham will be making one shortly. Hardy and Longman getting ready. Southampton win the ball back in the midfield away from Lewis O'Brien. And then Fernandez is caught quite heavily just above the ankle. He's already kneeling down. He's going to be okay. No need for any treatment. Fraser, in a hurry to restart play, takes the free kick quickly. Stevens bringing it forward. You're with TalkSport, 20 minutes into the second half. Wrexham have led for more than 40 now. Josh Windus' first half penalty, the difference between the two sides. And Wrexham bring the ball forward. Windus, the goal scorer. He's trying to get the better of Robinson in the midfield, and the teenager is thought to have fouled Josh Windus. Free kick to Wrexham, 20 yards outside the Southampton box as we approach the midway stage of this second half.
Yeah, Wrexham, look, you know, they're still leading. It's a great score line so far, but it's not a result. And I think where we talked about in the first half, they didn't have the lion's share of possession, but kind of controlled the game with and without the ball. That's not been the case so far. They need to keep hold of the ball a bit better.
Free kick taken inside the penalty area. It's then come off Kwashi. Edwards will clear, stop it going out of play for a corner. Long clearance down the right-hand side. Southampton will push out. And Kakache has got all the time in the world to get there first for Wrexham. He's laid it back for Danny Ward. Long ball forward from him. Edwards heads that away. And Southampton with Shea Charles in the midfield have plenty of time to plot a way forward through this Wrexham midfield. And they've gone backwards. And the crowd again just a little bit discontent with that. Edwards down to Fraser. Scottish international coming within 15 yards of the edge of the penalty area. Charles into the blonde hair. Downs given a shove, no foul. O'Brien can bring the ball away. Break could be on here for Wrexham. Clever ball by Kakache. Trying to get Smith in, but Sam Smith beaten to it by Kwashi, who then does his best to try and whip up the crowd. Back pass for Bazunu. Now Gavin Bazunu finds Ronnie Edwards, who drifts one out towards the far touchline for Wellington. Wellington coming forward here for Southampton. 67 gone. Southampton trailing 1-0. Much more in control in this second half than they were in the first, but Ward hasn't had a difficult save to make yet. Fraser's ball inside the penalty area, looking for Downs, was headed away before it got there. Southampton have it again, working towards the edge of the penalty area. Robinson taking it cleverly on the half turn, now getting his shot in, and saved by Ward. But that is him in microcosm. Got the ball, clever little drop of the shoulder, took two defenders out of it, didn't quite have the end product to go with it, but it's moments of inspiration like that that make him such a highly sought-after property.
Yeah, the new Tyler Dibbling. Dibbling's only been around for a year, but that's what he can do for sure. Needs to get him involved a lot more in the final third.
Now Damien Downs to Southampton, drifting out of the left-hand touchline, picking up the ball exactly midway through the second half. Ball through the legs of the referee, Fernandez. Back out to Wellington. Wellington coming towards the corner of the penalty area. A little shuffle across, right-footed effort from Fernandez, and it's saved by the diving Ward at the foot of the right-hand post. Southampton beginning to knock on the door with a lot more purpose now, but they're running out of time with barely 20 minutes to go. Saints are going to be making changes as well. Wrexham still haven't been able to get those two, Hardy and Longman, on. Southampton are going to be bringing on Archer and Manning when the play next stops. Wrexham have it over on their right. Forward towards Sam Smith. Smith, who was prolific with Cambridge and Reading, earning the move to Wrexham. He had a decent second half to last season after the move. Goals that clinch promotion. Here's Fernandez coming forward towards the heart of the Wrexham midfield. Plays the ball back for Edwards. Edwards driving it out to the Southampton left. Wellington in possession, trying to measure across. Didn't have the air underneath it to cause Cody any problems. He volleys it away.
Right idea though, Jim. When you get the ball wide, you've got someone as big as Downs as he is. Get the ball in the box, but do it with better quality. They've been much better in the second half, and Wrexham haven't really tested Bazunu at all. But they don't have to. They're the team that's won the lap. It's down to Southampton to try and break Wrexham down, but now Downs is on. Get the ball wide, get crosses in.
Wrexham fans singing Men of Harlech. What a start to the season this would be, to win away from home against the side who were playing Premier League football back in May. Robinson, Flynn Downs, back out of the Southampton left for Kwashi, who's drifted out to the left. They're pushing the wing-backs higher and higher now. Flynn Downs. Southampton with Stevens down towards Fernandez, and he got the angle wrong of that right-footed ball inside the box, looking for Downs. And he's gone straight through for Danny Ward, and still the ball hasn't got out of play.
I was going to say.
Hardy's glad now Ward puts it out so that Cody can receive some treatment. I think Cody has gone down.
He's got cramp.
Has he got cramp, or is he a very canny old pro who knows that they want to make the change, and so he's gone down to facilitate that? Hardy and Longman, the players that are coming on. Windus is coming off, and Ryan Hardy, the summer signing from Plymouth, scored the goal that knocked Liverpool famously out of the FA Cup last season. He's going to come on. We're also going to see Ryan Longman come on. Longman, who has played more than 100 games in the Championship with Hull and Millwall. A right-sided player in midfield or at wing-back. He'll be coming on in a moment. Wellington's going to come off first, though. Manning for Wellington, a straight swap on the Southampton left. I think Wrexham are just putting a pause on the Longman change to make sure Cody's okay. I think that's their thinking. So Southampton make the change. Flynn Downs is coming off as well, so Archer for Flynn Downs, an attack-minded change as Cam Archer comes on. Player's got a good record at championship level. A really good loan spell at Middlesbrough. Now Wrexham will make their first change, and it is, as expected, Windus off, Hardy on, and it is also going to be Longman for Barnett, so a straight swap on the right-hand side. 18 to go, Cody's okay, and he's going to come back on after the obligatory 30 seconds, but a double change from each. Scott Minto.
Yeah, and do you know what? I actually think it's Wrexham who needed to make the changes more so than Southampton. I understand why Will Steele has done what he's done, but talked about how Wrexham seem to have lost control of this game. And at the moment, yes, they are defending well, but they just feel that Southampton were gaining a little bit more and more momentum there. But now there's Archer and Downs on as well with Fernandez. There's a lot of quality on there, and just think, don't be afraid to get the ball a little bit longer than just pass all the time.
Jaden Lucas scored for Notts County. They got one back at home to Salford, but still trail by 2 goals to 1. I'll go through the other scores for you in a moment. Southampton getting the ball forward here. Late run inside the box from Robinson. Wrexham sweep the ball away for a Southampton corner. Elsewhere in the Championship still goalless Coventry Hull, live over on TalkSport 2. Still goalless Charlton against Watford. League 1, Peterborough 0, Luton 1, Reading 0, Huddersfield 0. League 2, Tranmere 2, 10-man Shrewsbury 0. And as I just mentioned, Salford 2-1 up at Notts County. Cody's back on, and Wrexham can defend this corner with a full complement of 11. It's a corner which will be taken by Ryan Manning, the Irishman on the Southampton right. The referee has just told him to wait for a moment because he spotted some pushing and shoving going on in the 6.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, Ryan Manning, first touch, get the ball out of his feet. Second touch, being on the pitch, whipping the ball in. It was a great ball in. Someone's got to get it in the far post.
Damien Downs making a run in from deep towards the far post. The header is saved by Ward. It was Stevens that got to it. And Damien Downs making the decoy run. Stevens coming round the back, got his head to it, but comfortably saved by Ward. Southampton haven't really created too many set-piece opportunities. I think that's their first corner of the second half, but not able to really do an awful lot with it. Another header from Stevens, this one a defensive one to get the ball away. Robinson losing out. Wrexham have it inside their own half. Played forward by Brunt. Time for O'Brien to turn in the midfield. Dobson working it out towards the Wrexham right-hand side. First chance for Longman to get the ball in. Not the worst ball after a little deflection. It bounced in the 6-yard box, but away from Smith and Hardy. And then Fraser wins it back on the Southampton right. And Robinson's going to be able to bring it away. 1-0 Wrexham. They've led for not too far short of an hour. Southampton give it away to Hardy. O'Brien is in there trying to win it back, and very cleverly just got himself in between the ball and his man, and contact from Fernandez was inevitable.
It's just Fernandez, what are you doing? You're the one who gave the ball away, and then you could just see it. He wants to win the ball back, and he's just gone straight into O'Brien, who's taken the touch, gone down, killing another 30 seconds. He's going to take his time here. Fernandez needs to be a little bit more football intelligent there. Yes, you've given the ball away, but he had nowhere to go, O'Brien, and it's exactly what he wanted, that push in the back.
Free kick here that Lewis O'Brien will take for Wrexham. But he's swung it away from the edge of the penalty area. Cody retreats and heads it back into the fray where it's easily cleared. And then Matty James plays it forward straight into Damien Downs. Long ball over the top. Downs will chase that. But Longman did well to get himself back in position and can knock it away, and then the retreating Cody and Brunt can do the rest. In League 2, Tranmere 3, Shrewsbury 0. Will Boyle, the former Wrexham player, sent off for the Shrews in that game, and they're 3-0 down. Tranmere just scored again. Luton leading at Peterborough in League 1. Reading 0, Huddersfield 0, and Windus' penalty, the only championship goal that we've seen so far today. Plenty of action coming up, of course, with a multitude of 3 o'clock kickoffs. And Adrian Dunn will have the fastest goal service on the radio for you after us. Here's O'Brien inside the penalty area. Was he given a shove? Referee says no. And Southampton get away with it. Well, O'Brien had made a run. He got goal side of Stevens. He timed the run to perfection. Stevens came across. It looked pretty agricultural way to try and win the ball back, Wrexham are absolutely adamant that that should have been a penalty, and I think the referee decides that's a foul. It is a red card. Phil Parkinson is already on a yellow. Can't believe what he's seen.
Well, again, there's no way that he should have been able to run off the back and have so much time as he runs from the halfway line. Jack Stevens trying to get across. Do you know what, Jim? My first reaction was, I think that's a foul. And I think, actually, looking at it again, he hasn't got anywhere near the ball. He's got his arm on his shoulder. There's a little bit of a collision between the leg of one and the other. And Lewis O'Brien has done nothing wrong there at all. It's a penalty.
That could easily have been a penalty. That's a penalty that each side will feel they should have had in this second half. Wrexham have had one and scored it, and that's still the difference between the two teams. It's Fernandez, 13 minutes to go. Southampton 0, Wrexham 1. Ryan Fraser's ball towards the far post, shove on Damien Downs. Referee says, Kwashi, who was at the far post, and the referee says, goal kick.
Well, Kwasi's got to be stronger there. He's a big centre-half at the far post. It's a lovely little floated ball to the far post. I think he's got to be strong, but there's a definite shirt pull. And it's gone on for a long time as well. He's almost got to just bat the arm away, but it's a penalty. It's another penalty.
Yeah, that was Sam Smith, and he had more than a handful.
He's the wrong side of him, so he's pulling his shirt. And where I say he's got to be stronger, by that I mean just literally bat his arm away. He's able to do it. Get your hand off my shirt. I'm going to go and head this. But still, it is a penalty.
I mean, let me reiterate, I would have no chance. If I was a referee, I wouldn't be able to do the job. It is easier from up here.
Yeah.
But there probably should have been 4 penalties in this game, and we've only had 1.
Look, you know, Adrian and I are a little bit different angles when it comes to VAR. I'm for it, but not in the way that it's being used. I think it could be used a lot better, but let's just say if there was VAR in the EFL, there'd definitely be more penalties given today.
Well, the Southampton fans weren't happy, and Phil Parkinson, I think, made the point to them. Producer Deck McCarthy has just told me by asking if they'd seen what had just happened at the other end. And the handball from Cleworth, which we felt should have been a penalty as well. Robinson now has had a free kick given against him. Southampton fans thought that could have gone the other way. It was a challenge from Kakache. Southampton poised to make their final change. Here's the Loch Ness Drogba coming on, Ross Stewart. So he'll play through the middle. They're going to take Edwards off. I think it's safe to say this time they are going to go to a back 4.
Yes. Yeah, I don't see Ross Stewart 1-0 down at home, big centre forwards going to centre back. So absolutely. And with him, the size he is, I mean, there's not many people that make, I'm not going to say Damien Downs look small, but certainly a smaller than, but Ross Stewart is one of them. So when you got 2 big men up front, do what you need to do.
Been bedeviled by Achilles and hamstring problems before and since his move from Sunderland to Southampton. He's only made 4 league starts in more than 2.5 years. Ross Stewart, really good record in the Championship in his career, 11 in 17 at this level in his career, and he did score on his last appearance of last season for Southampton against Arsenal. Ball played forward to him, and he's got time to chest the ball down on the edge of the penalty area. He's dragged it back. Robinson trying to take it on inside the box, and Wrexham hammer it away. And that was very much an anywhere will do clearance from Kakache down the Wrexham left. They're tiring, visibly tiring. 10 minutes to go, at least 5 to be added on. And Wrexham lead it by a goal to 0. Be a brave man who would put the house on Wrexham from here, although they've shown their ability on the counter-attack, and you also couldn't say that they wouldn't score the second goal of this game. It's beautifully poised for a neutral, probably not beautifully poised if you're a Southampton fan. The Wrexham fans will be loving life at the moment, but knowing that there's a lot of work to do yet. Kwashi to take another throw. This one from the right-hand side. Again, starting point level with the edge of the Wrexham box. Nearly everybody forward. Wrexham have got 10 back inside the penalty area to defend it. It's his longest throw yet. Gets to the penalty spots, headed away. Swept back to Manning. Manning clipping it in. It's off the top of Sam Smith's head. Further away from the Wrexham back line. Kwashi wins the seconds near the edge of the penalty area, but he's only been able to put the ball high up in the air. Longman couldn't get there, though. He was beaten to it. Southampton will bring it forward again with Manning. Archer on the left-hand side of the box. Worked it inside the penalty area for Charles instead. Trying to win a corner. He hasn't quite been able to do that. Certainly initially down on the dead ball line. Big appeals from the Southampton fans that he was fouled. Wrexham get it away. Kwashi will mop up at the back and go back to his goalkeeper, Gavin Bazunu. 8 minutes plus a lot of stoppage time to go, 1-0 Wrexham.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I think it's a very difficult one to call because Southampton are very much on the ascendancy. It just takes one moment. And with the players they've got on the pitch, a good ball in the box, and they could easily go and get the equaliser. But Wrexham have defended well, they really have. They haven't controlled the second half in the way they did the first, but defensively speaking, they've been superb.
Ryan Manning with the ball inside the penalty area. There to be attacked, a really good header. It's come off, the brushed off the top of Brunt's head to relative safety. Fernandez with another ball in, which took a swirling deflection and tested Ward, but his handling was good. And Wrexham are 7 minutes away in League One. I think Huddersfield have got a great chance of winning that division this season. They lead at Reading with Jack Watmore, who played his football just down the coast from here at Fratton Park for a bit. Reading 0, Huddersfield 1. And everything else still as it was. 0-0 at Charlton and Coventry. Luton leading at Peterborough, Salford at Notts County. Tranmere 3 up at home to the 10 men of Shrewsbury, who've had a difficult start of the campaign. 7 to go here, 1-0 Wrexham. Ball inside their penalty area, just too high for Stewart. Almost fell Damien Downs his way. And now cleared by O'Brien on the edge of his penalty area. And saw one for Karche, who goes down and needs some treatment inside his box. And this is just going to add further minutes to the game. Wrexham have still got the opportunity to make 2 more changes, incidentally. Southampton have done theirs. But Wrexham can make 2 more. Karche, the latest to go down here.
Yeah, look, it's first game of the season. I don't think they're doing it on purpose by any stretch of the imagination. The players aren't 100% fit yet. Whatever you do in pre-season, the running or the games that you play, it doesn't have the intensity of that first game of the season where you're still trying to be 100% match fit where you want to be throughout the whole season. So genuinely believe he's gone down for cramped purposes, but they're doing a lot of running without the ball now, and can Southampton wear them down?
Well, in fact, he is going to come off. So the Kiwi off, and James McLean comes on. And McLean, who was relegated in his last championship campaign with Wigan, coming on for the 641st game of his club career. He's nearly at 750 for club and country. Appetite undimmed for the game. The age of 35. The ball is on the Southampton right, played in by Fraser. Here's the tall Stewart taking it down towards the corner flag, and it's come off McLean and then the corner flag and goes out for Southampton throw. 5.5 to go and a fair bit of time to be added. No surprise that Kwashi will come forward to take this throw, and Fraser passes the ball to him. So Kwashi comes back, dries his hands, just trying to remove a little bit of sweat from them to make sure that he can get the purchase on the ball for this long throw. It's a long run up over the red runoff, and then the verdant green turf gets to the touchline, hurls it in, a little bit of a loopy one. It was easy for Ward to come out and claim it. 1-0 Wrexham.
Brilliant goalkeeping though, Jim. It's exactly what you want when you're tired, you've been running around and you're chasing shadows and you're trying to keep this 1-0 lead. When you're absolutely right to describe it as a bit of a loopy one. You're trying to get as much depth as possible, but it's then come into the goalkeeper's arena and you want your keeper to come out, claim it, and kill an extra minute or so.
That crowd announced that just a couple of dozen less than 31,000 today. Stewart's ball inside the penalty area. Damien Downs attacking it. Wrexham smuggle it clear. They've defended really resolutely and well. Fernandez put under pressure by O'Brien, who's won it back. But the referee's whistle has gone, and just for a moment there it was 2 against 1 for Wrexham, but the whistle went. Manning sweeping it inside the area, Robinson going up for it, couldn't get his head on it. Fraser diverting it back in, and then Robinson swivels and heads high and wide, and out of play for a goal kick to Wrexham. Well, it was a belting game at St Andrews last night. Newly promoted Birmingham getting to stoppage time with a lead, and within seconds of a deserved victory against Ipswich Town, they didn't hang on. And now it's the same situation here. Wrexham, newly promoted, with a lead against newly relegated opposition. And with 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go, they have that advantage. And as things stand right now, they are top of the championship. Fair to say, it's a long way to go. Hardy trying to get in. This could win it. Oh, good save. That's an outstanding stop from Bazunu. Playing in towards Ryan Hardy inside the penalty area, and he just tried to squeeze it past Bazunu and in off the far post. He went for precision, not power, and the big Irishman just got fingertips to it to flick it around the post.
Absolutely brilliant save. And you're right to mention last night and what happened, and Ipswich somehow got away with it. I don't think Southampton would be as lucky if they were able to get the draw the way they played better in the second half. But what an opportunity to absolutely kill the game. It's a wonderful save, and they've kept Southampton in it.
League One, Luton 2 up at Peterborough. Jordan Clark adding to that earlier Mess Anderson goal. Corner to Wrexham, they lead 1-0. Second one might win it. Ball inside the penalty area, Kwashi heads it away. Goes back out to the corner taker O'Brien, who'd retreated 15 yards to pick up the next ball. Southampton's Shea Charles trying to stop him getting the cross in. It's a high ball flicked inside the box by Brunt. A real loopy effort that's gone way over Bazunu's bar. And by the time it takes the goal kick, we'll be in the 89th minute with Wrexham still leading.
I'm not sure what that was from Brunt. It wasn't a shot, it wasn't a cross, and you don't really need your centre-half getting on the ball like that. They need to keep it, they need to kill time. It's given Southampton the opportunity to get into Wrexham's half, and can they create anything?
Don't forget the league games next weekend. Southampton at Ipswich and Wrexham at home to West Brom, both on Talk Sport 2. Plenty of live football coming up between now and then, though, including the Community Shield tomorrow, the opening of the Premier League season as well on Friday night, the European Super Cup final. It's yet another busy week on the station that will bring you more than 500 live games over the course of the campaign, culminating in the 2026 World Cup. Southampton, as we go into the 90th minute, have a free kick. Ryan Manning's going to take it. It's almost plumb dead centre. The left footer is faced by what is initially a four-man wall, and O'Brien is standing almost like a second slip past the wall. Just moves in and joins the wall now. So Danny Ward has got 5 in front of him, trying to repel this Ryan Manning free kick. Feels like a big moment with 89 plus on the clock. Southampton have players waiting for seconds around the edge of the penalty area. Manning addresses it, left-footed, great free kick. 1-1. Round the wall, pass of despairing dive of Danny Ward. And just like last night, the newly promoted side have had a lead for a long time, but haven't been able to hang on. More than an hour, Wrexham have had the advantage here, but Ryan Manning's brilliant free kick has got Southampton back on level terms, and they will feel there's still time to win it as we go into stoppage time. But some hit that from Ryan Manning.
It's a wonder strike, and you know what? The substitution, I completely get it. Wellington, he can bomb up and down that wing. Great athleticism, but Ryan Manning, what we saw with his first touch, whipped in a great ball. He's really good with set pieces, won the left foot, 30 yards out, what a strike.
His first goal in 69 Southampton appearances. Now McLean is involved off the ball, right in front of the assistant referee. There was an initial confrontation, and then McLean came across, and as a result of that, Fernandez ended up on the deck. I don't want to prejudge anything, wasn't entirely sure exactly what McLean did. He's got a yellow card rather than a red. Having a look at a replay now, Scott. Fraser got away from McLean. Robinson came back and put pressure on O'Brien, and then McLean came across And off the ball and out of the camera's view, put Fernandez on the deck. Yellow card. But free kick to Southampton. Yard in from the right-hand touchline. 15 yards from the bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. And it feels now, with 4.5 minutes of stoppage time to go, that Southampton might be able to turn 1 point into 3. Plenty of Wrexham defending to come. Fernandez taking the free kick inside the box. Little flick header, kept back alive on the far side, and they've won a corner. I think Wrexham felt that had gone over the dead ball line and out of play before it was hooked back, but the officials didn't. Southampton with their 5th corner. Manning's gone across to take it. Spots the ball down. 2 in front of the goalkeeper. 4 making runs from deep inside the penalty area to attack this in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. 1-1 in towards the near post, far too low and flat, and easily clear. Brought down inside the centre circle by Charles. Played for by him for Fernandez. Left-footed clip towards the edge of the Wrexham penalty area. Southampton making first contact. Stewart helping it on. Longman getting it away from Damien Downs. Ball chested down on halfway by Charles. Southampton keeping possession. 3.5 to go. Having to build from deep. It's 1-1 after Ryan Manning's spectacular free kick. Got Southampton back on level terms in the 90th minute. Manning again, ball inside the penalty area, bounces once, high one inside the box. Great goalkeeping again from Ward, who comes out and takes it off the head of Damien Downs. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go, 1-1.
Well, Southampton fans will be, you can hear them singing now, and will genuinely believe they can go on and win this game. What a fantastic strike that was, but you just never know with Wrexham on the counter-attack.
With Sam Smith here, whose speculative attempt has gone high and wide. It's a long ball forward from Ward, but it went over the top of the Southampton back line. 3.5 minutes of the 6th play. 1-1. A game in which Wrexham led for 67 minutes. Are they going to end up losing it? Shea Charles here for the Saints. Deep towards Fraser at the far post, just taken away from him by McLean, but his touch has gone over the dead ball line and out for another Southampton corner.
Well, at times last season, even when they did go ahead, they were pulled back. I was here last year where they were 2-0 up against, was it Leicester?
Yeah.
End up losing 3-2. Can they do the reverse now and come from behind, show resilience and come away with all 3 points?
Remember, they didn't win a single game from 1-0 down last season. Only took 2 points from 28 matches in which they conceded the first goal. In comes this latest Manning corner. It's very deep, looked like a shirt pull in there. It's ended up coming, I think, off Archer and goes out for a goal kick. Stevens went up for it at the far post. It did look as though somebody was having their shirt pulled, but on the basis that we've seen 3 pretty clear-cut penalties not given, one wasn't going to be given for that. A minute or so to go. I think over the whole piece, Wrexham will feel that they, in the context of this game, deserve a point, that it would be very harsh were they to lose.
No, I mean, I said that even at 1-0, that, you know, half-time 1-0, that I thought they were superb with and without the ball and controlled the game. Second half, Southampton, without being brilliant, have definitely stepped it up, and Wrexham are just almost defence versus attack. I think Southampton don't deserve to lose this, but for sure Wrexham certainly don't deserve to lose this.
Clearance from Cleworth, ball goes out of play for a Southampton throw. Fraser in a hurry to take it quickly. 40 seconds of the 6 minutes remaining, but may be elongated by another 30 seconds or so because of the McLean incident. Here's Fernandez. Kwashi back for Fraser. Wants to play the way that he's facing and make sure that he doesn't lose out to Hardy. He's found Shea Charles, long diagonal from him. Ball down left-hand side of the penalty area. Damien Downs, and he's in off the underside of the bar. Southampton have won it right at the end through Jack Stevens. The scruffiest goal you can wish to see, and nobody in St Mary's cares one iota. Southampton trailing in the 90th minute, and going to win it by 2 goals to 1. And Will Still Saints are going to be off to a winning start. High ball down the left-hand side of the penalty area by Charles. Worked across the box. The initial effort wasn't cleared. Stevens on the slide, off the underside of the bar and in. And Southampton have beaten Wrexham by 2 goals to 1. And if ever a 5-minute period could change the thinking and philosophy of the club and the feel of the club, we might just have seen that here.
Well, look, and we saw a late goal last night. We've seen 2 late goals here today. This is what the Championship can give you. Drama at the very end. I mean, look, it's heartbreaking for Phil Parkinson and Wrexham and anyone involved, especially the travelling fans. But in this second half, they've just sat back and tried to defend. Amazing. Once that first goal comes, the whole psychology of the game changes. And it did look like Southampton would definitely believe they could go on and do it. Great run off the ball from Ryan Manning. Got to give him so much credit, not just for the first goal, but for the second goal as well. But well done, Jack Stevens. Stayed there at the back post, in off the crossbar. Could it be the winner?
7.5 minutes of stoppage time play was still going. Free kick to Wrexham. Boom forward. Fernandez got a yellow card for his foul. Southampton get it away. And now Archer, I beg your pardon, it was that was booked. Southampton get it away and bring it forward here. McLean back defending, can clear. And there's the full-time whistle. A harsh introduction to life in the Championship for Wrexham. Their first game at this level for 43 years. And boy, did the new-look Red Dragons give a really good account of themselves. But they ended up sinking deeper and deeper. And in the end, Southampton turned it around. They were 1-0 down with 30 seconds and the 90 minutes remaining. And 2 defenders scored. One with his first goal in 69 appearances for the club. The other with only his second Southampton goal in 5.5 years. St Mary's was a place of misery in the 24-25 campaign. They have already won as many games at home in 25-26 as they did last season. And Will Still gets off to a winning start. What drama! What a league the Championship is. Exclusively to national radio on TalkSport. You've heard Southampton beat Wrexham by 2 goals to 1.
Wow, Hollywood ending or what? Extraordinary. It's not the one Ryan Reynolds wanted, but Saints have only gone and done it. And I tell you what, Scott Minto, very pleased for Jack Stevens. He's been at Southampton for longer than football's existed, and he's got to come up with that winner. What a moment. What a moment for him, but what a moment for Will Still as well. And you were right in commentary. They gradually, without being spectacularly brilliant, they gradually took charge of the game. And they will say, yeah, we deserved it in the end. We were the ones trying to win the game. They've got the 3 points, and that's all that matters to the new manager.
Yeah, look, I mean, that final statement is absolutely spot on, but I couldn't agree more with everything that you said there, Aid. You know, Southampton were the team in the second half that looked like, well, they had to, obviously, being at home, but come back into the game. But even at 1-1, you know, they believed they could go on and get there. And Wrexham, as much as they controlled the game without the ball even many times in that first half, it was just a sit back and we'll try and hold on here. And look, you know what, I think it's harsh on Wrexham really, but Southampton, the way they did step it up in the second half, is ultimately about who wants it more. And I just feel that Wrexham didn't give enough going forward in that second half, and the substitutions of Will Still, you've got to say, look, he had plenty of options on the bench and he certainly used them all, and I think that could come into play for Southampton going forward for the rest of the season. The options, I have to wait and see once the window closes who they've got, but he used those substitutions really well. And when you've got those bigger players up front, why not get the ball into the box? And yeah, Aid, the best substitution for me, Ryan Manning, a left back, a left wing back. The way he came on, he showed his intent the first time he came on the pitch. Touch, boom, in, get in there. That's where I want you. They weren't in there at that particular moment, but the free kick was a great free kick. And then again, the run off the ball for the second goal as well, getting in behind the defence, whipping it across. Downs couldn't get there, Stevens did. a goal and assist. Brilliant play from Ryan Manning.
Yeah, and listen, let's talk about that free kick. Will Ward have a look at himself and look back at it and think maybe I could have stepped across a bit quicker, or is it just a brilliant hit?
Yeah, look, any goalkeeper beaten from 30 yards would be saying I shouldn't really be beaten from there, but it was a wonder strike. You know, he'll be saying, yeah, I've got to read it a bit better, but look, I like to think more when you're that far out. I mean, I was going to say, but you know, we were close to the free kick being taken, so I didn't want to interrupt Jim. I was going to say, look, we're just a few minutes to go now. Straight in front of goal, but it's 30 yards out. It's going to take some strike to get up over the wall and beat the keeper with pace. And while Danny Ward might be saying, no, maybe I shouldn't be beaten from there, I want to give Ryan Manning a lot of credit. He's the one who said, I'm going to give you this absolutely everything. And just at a time where they're feeling under pressure, Southampton, with what happened last season, first time game of this season, should be beating a promotion side. They're 1-0 down with just minutes to go. Sometimes you can take the easy option and float it in, or maybe not quite go with a ferocious, or the way that Piercy says, you know, what is it, a vicious free kick. Well, he certainly did that, and violence, that's the one. And he certainly did that. It was Stuart Pearce, he'd be pretty proud of that. It was, and that just changed the whole emotion of it all. We saw a goal, you saw a late goal last night. Ipswich couldn't go on and win it, and that would have been a travesty if they had done. But Southampton, I think, definitely deserved at least a point, and fair play to them and their manager for making all the changes and really going for the win in the end.
Sorry, Scott, I was just going to say, ultimately it's 3 points, but psychologically it will have a massive impact on Southampton. The difference between getting off to a losing start, beaten at home by a newly promoted team, and then having the fight back like that to end up getting the victory going into the games ahead is truly immense, because it will give people belief, it will give the players belief, it will give the fans belief. You know, Will Still started his Rams career with a 14-game unbeaten run. You just wonder what he might be able to mastermind here. So much work to do at Southampton, but that feels like a monumental victory even on day one.
Well, he's only just gone down the tunnel, Will Still, after taking the adulation of the crowd. And you can hear the noise in the background as you two are speaking. The Saints fans have got their voices back after everything that happened last season, but they needed late goals. On 90, they're 1-0 down. Come the final whistle, they're 2-1 up, and Wrexham will be heartbroken, no doubt. Quick word from Scott Minto on a late goal at the Valley, because Charlton have beaten Watford 1-0. Harvey Nibbs, only signed last week. Scott has got the goal. Big win for your lot.
Big win indeed, and it's not just in terms of strikers, but you want your attacking players to be scoring goals, and what a debut. I mean, I know it was their highest home opener attendance-wise in over 17 years, so that's brilliant for Charlton. You know, far too long in the third tier of English football. It's a great start. I'm really pleased with them.
We'll leave you to it, Scott. Thank you very much. Let me give you the results from elsewhere in the EFL this lunchtime. In the Championship, Charlton 1, Watford 0, 94th minute winner from Harvey Nibbs. Coventry 0, Hull City 0 was live on TalkSport 2. Here on TalkSport, you just heard Southampton come from behind to snatch a late victory. They've beaten Wrexham 2-1. In League One, it's going to be a long, hard season for Peterborough United. 2 games down, 2 defeats, Posh 0, Luton 2, and Luton have 2 wins out of 2. Reading 0, Huddersfield 2, also 100% for Huddersfield. So far, we've done some great business this summer. League 2, Notts County 1, Salford 2, and Tranmere make it 2 wins out of 2. They've beaten Shrewsbury by 4 goals to 0 this lunchtime. Shrewsbury had their summer signing Will Boyle sent off. But what's a lunchtime at St Mary's? Southampton, who got so used to losing last season, are now getting used to winning. They've beaten Wrexham by 2 goals to 1. We're about to take you round the grounds on TalkSport.
Team, kick off at 3, yeah? On my way. I've just picked up my new Nissan Town Store. It's packed with safety features, goalkeeper vibes.
Showing off fans, are we? My Nissan Prima Star's got 8.6 cubic metres of space. So, loading up the footy gear now.
Thought this was a football chat. Try the all-new Nissan Interstar. Comes as a diesel or 100% electric with up to 285-mile range, like me up front. See you there.
Get ready to win with the Nissan Van range, all backed by a 5-year warranty and roadside assistance. Search Nissan Vans and visit your local Nissan Van Centre today.
Warranty terms apply. 5 years or 100,000 miles, whichever comes first. EV range figures are for comparability purposes and may not reflect real driving results. Visit nissan.co.uk.
At Betfred, we're proud to back British horse racing. The lightning speed, the thunder of hooves, the roar of the crowd. This flat season, Betfred are making history as the first bookmaker to sponsor all 5 British classics. Check out our range of horse racing markets, daily offers and price boosts in shops and online. Love racing? Betfred. Selected races only. T's and C's apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Vodafone's new customer service is a little bit different. It's called Just Ask Once. Message them on the Vodafone app. You deal with one person and they keep you updated until it's sorted, so you can get on with your day. Walk his ears then. Just Ask Once. Customer